that crowd. They know who it is. They know the name. The next generation, indeed.
Next gen. That's his nickname.
What's up, Steelers fans? A little added joy in the Steelers' solo victory this week is the Bengals' agony of defeat. As we climb to 6-3, they sink to 5-4 after a last-second game-winning field goal from the Houston Texans. So the Steelers slide into sole possession of second place after the Ravens in the AFC North. I thought it was another good game called by Matt Canada with 100 rushing yards in the first half there, mixing up the running game a lot more than he has been. They ran some stretch zone early in the second half there on that long Najee run. They were running stretch left. So he's really done away with those the predictability rumors, the whole "it's the same plays" thing from the Titans game last year. If you're still talking about Matt Canada's play calling being predictable, then you really haven't been paying attention lately. The first rushing touchdown, Najee's touchdown, it looked like a basic duo scheme with a double on the one technique in the left side A gap, and then after that guy was controlled, James Daniels will take over, and the center Mason Cole will work up to the linebacker on the next level. Really seal that off. And Kenny Clark was wanted to cross Broderick Jones's face to get penetration in the backfield. Jones was more than happy to let that happen because once he's upfield and he's washed out of the play, there's no one really other than that linebacker that the center just fit on up to the second level to keep Najee out of the end zone at that point. The second rushing touchdown, the one that Jaylen Warren took in, they had a three-man stack to the left, and that makes the defense awful preoccupied with passing concepts, what you can do out of that kind of situation. Before the snap, they motioned Allen Robinson across as if he were the split zone. You see him coming across in motion. You think, okay, this is going to be the split zone blocker. They're running their zone run left, and then they run it looked like the pin and pull concept that Najee got his touchdown in last week's game. They ran that to the right and got some double teams, got some guys up to the next level. You saw Samalo again getting out in front, and Allen Robinson coming across, stealing that hole. Warren popped through it, and he's so explosive. And explosive coming out of his cuts specifically. But speaking of Allen Robinson, he's really gaining a reputation as a solid run blocker. They used him as a lead blocker out in front of Jaylen Warren on that fourth down, the pitch out there. He's their go-to whenever they need a crackback or someone to seal the inside zone, taking over really for that Miles Boykin role from last year. And Boykin, the only reason he's still on this roster right now is because he's such an ace special teamer. He's got to be on the short list for that award that a Patriots player wins every year for the best special teamer. He's just, I talk about it all the time, how good he is as a gunner. He's always the first guy down there. He had that stop on the kickoff inside the 10-yard, not inside the 15-yard line today. It's hard to find work on an NFL roster if all you can do is special teams. But having said that, if you are, that means you can do it at a really high level, and Miles Boykin can. Kenny Pickett, I'm going to have another video coming, a more in-depth look at what I think of him as an NFL passer. I think we have enough of a sample size now that it's fair to start evaluating what he is and isn't at this level. And but just today, I think he got very lucky that they weren't able to overturn that swing pass to Warren out in the flat. That should have and could have been ruled a fumble and maybe even a touchdown there. How do you ever call man coverage against this guy in the fourth quarter? He's either going to chuck it up back shoulder to either Pickens or Deontay and get an explosive completion on the outside, or he's going to call his own number because your defenders have their back to him and he's just going to run it himself like he had that big third down conversion today. The offensive pass interference on Calvin Austin late, that's just because he threw his shoulder into the defender. It didn't look like he left the base path of his route. It looked like he was just running in the same established direction he had been. But you just got to take that hit like you're setting a pick. You just got to let him run into you and hope you don't go knee to knee, because if you lead with the shoulder, if you do anything to indicate to the referee that you're running into that guy on purpose, he's going to throw that flag. Austin, he's a young player. He's going to learn that. Today's the learning experience. He didn't do a good enough a job of it. And it's better to learn these lessons in a win, as Mike Tomlin would say, than from the position of a loser. Keanu Benton is just disruptive, and disrespectful is an even better word to describe him. He's an absolute load up front. The swim move is a wrecker. People have talked about him replacing Stephon Tuitt and filling that void that he left. But I think, and I don't want to set the bar too high for the rookie, but, I think Benton the ceiling may be even higher than a Tuitt at this point. Now, he may hit a rookie ceiling and start to fall back to earth at some point, but at this point, the trajectory is looking pretty steeply in the upward direction. But like I was saying, not only is he a problem as far as the power goes, but the last couple of weeks he's had a couple nice reps chasing down stuff. He chased on a screen in today's game. Montravius Adams better hurry back from his injury because that's his claim to fame, is the big man who can chase. So, Ben maybe filling that role. Levi Wallace, this is another week where we're left thinking we've seen about enough of him. He was burned on both of Green Bay's touchdowns. Patrick Peterson, we've been feeling the same thing about him off and on of late, but he kind of redeemed himself today with the blocked extra point and then tipping that interception to Keanu Neal late. The Steelers defense had to call game twice in this game, and they're certainly pulling their weight, and you'd hope that the offense would start to pull theirs at a certain point. But the biggest shout out I want to give is to Landon Roberts, calling plays for the Steelers defense for the first time. You saw him on that one third down play that the Packers were trying to hurry up and the Steelers were entirely out of position, trying to call a timeout there, and didn't get it honored. This team is missing Minka something terrible right now. They've been platooning the other safety spot for a while now, but with Minka gone, missing that dependable stud in the middle, Elijah Riley, God bless him. You hate to say anything bad about him during Salute to Service week, but he really belongs on special teams. He got very lucky on that trick play that the running back dropped that pass and the pass back there because they really could have made the Steelers look silly. Last thing I want to say about this game, Broderick Jones is not one you messing with Danny Smith. He got clocked on that run back in the last play of the game there, and I was worried about him because he's not a spring chicken by any stretch of the imagination, but you saw somebody help him up, and he's still chomping on that gum. And, what a trooper that guy is. He throw a helmet on him, get him back on the field because he can still take a lick with the best of them. Broderick Jones seemed to play another good game over at the right tackle spot. I'm sure if you zoom in on him for an entire game, you may see some rookie moments, but it didn't seem like there were any that really came back to hurt the Steelers. It's going to get real hard. It's getting harder and harder for Chikwama Okorafor to reclaim his job in this team at this point. It's good to see those big guys scrapping and sticking up for the little guys. Mason Cole a few weeks back, protecting his quarterback and a hit out of bounds. The offense seems to be a tight-knit group. It seems like they're coming together, especially the running game now, and as they did down the stretch last year. And if that continues and they can take more of the weight off of the young quarterback's arm, I think the Steelers offense can really start to sing. And will that open the door for Matt Canada to get an extension? I know a lot of you don't want to hear that or have that conversation, but I don't know that the organization hasn't already closed the door to that possibility as far as being ready to move on after the season. But Matt Canada's performance seems to be knocking on the door of late, and who's to say it couldn't be reopened.